Stock market, bull flags. There's some. This is such a dramatic close. I'm in on a 1 minute chart on the S&P right now. So I'm gonna do the S&P because it's like the craziest thing. GameStop had a super dramatic close. I'll look at that. I'll show you a few bull flag patterns, and then I guess look at you know, it's Friday, so Bitcoin and like some metals and things that trade on the weekend. So please like, share, comment, subscribe, and let's look at this S&P battle for the freaking 41. This is a crazy level um, that we've jumped on top of, and the S&P is trying to hold here. And today, I mean, we just rolled over. We had this double bottom the last 2 days. We rolled over the top, and look, we like did this down channel, broke out, and we're double bottoming again. It's like double bottoms inside of a bigger double bottom or something that's going on now. It's very dramatic. But in any case, if this holds and we break out of this, I would imagine this is full tard, bull tard mode on the S&P. I think that would get crazy bullish if we hold this level here and break out. Look what happened on GameStop. This is ridiculous. So GameStop, this is also a 1 minute chart. So GameStop, had the flagpole. It's really the only chart that's had a flagpole. We've had a couple little breakouts, but I mean, GameStop did a flag from, let's see, we're 86 or something, up to 150, like a 2x flagpole. And then we got a descending channel, sort of a bull flag pattern for GameStop. And today, yesterday and today, we broke out. I was wondering if we're going to get a lower low on earnings, and we did not get an easy entry into this thing, but you can see it jumped out on top of the channel, and now this looks like a bull flag continuation, and it just picked up the channel where it's supposed to break out and could potentially right here go into, since this is a parallel down channel, this is a pretty good pattern for just a continuation flagpole, just the second one in a row. And I don't know where that would go on GameStop. Let me go out to like an hourly, just show you this thing. Yeah, so we got the uphill W, which is powerful, and we got a symmetrical descending channel breakout here on GameStop. So the continuation flagpole would be similar height, and there's pretty obvious area right here to look at. So, I mean, this is something that could be trying to happen right now if it were trading hours, but it just did that right into close. It's super dramatic. Anyway, GameStop's bull flagging. The S&P, let me go back into the S&P on the 1 hour and show kind of what I was looking at there. So, I mean, this red channel, or this red line here, is the top of the COVID. It doesn't line up correctly on the 1 hour, but anyway, this is the top of the COVID cone, the COVID megaphone, and we're jumping on top of it. We had this false breakdown into the COVID megaphone on a descending pattern here, and so that was the sort of false bottom that I called there. And then jumping on top of this would be super bullish, as I was saying a moment ago. And we're just sitting here just battling over this zone. But we got a bull flag breakout here on the topping pattern. Like we jumped out on top, right? And we got a flag breakout on top, like little bull flag here. So this looks really strong. I mean, we're holding it. We've got the big double bottom here into a smaller double bottom here. And just like double bottoms on either side of the double bottom. Anyway, that is just going into after hours now, or you can't trust any of the trading anyway. But that looks like it's going to break out now, whichever way, and GameStop looks like it's going to break out whichever way. It's like a super dramatic spot. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a big movement by Monday. And after hours is going to be really interesting. And let's see. I wanted to show a bigger bull flag that I'm noticing on the S&P. And here's the whole deal. So that's the big COVID cone back here. 28. This is Volmageddon to the 2018 crash. It's a COVID crash, and then we jump on top, right? And then if we come in here, it's a mess of lines, but I'll explain. I'll explain what I'm looking at. So, well, for one thing, there's sort of like a neckline thing that a lot of people have been pointing out, right? So this, just as in terms of just like a neckline, people love the head and shoulders thing. That's not really what I'm looking at, but this is like a false breakdown under the head and shoulders, and then jumping back on top. You're not supposed to do that. So this is a dramatic pattern here. If you're just looking at like head and shoulders kind of stuff, but what I'm looking at is this this descending wedge, right? And where's the top of that thing? Because there's a couple. I mean, this bottoming pattern is obviously very clear, but um, where's the top of the thing, right? So if we have this descending broadening cone pattern here, this is, you know, 1, 2, 3, what? That's 3 hops, like 4 bottoms, like 3 or 4 bottoms. That's usually where it bottoms. And so, you know, this is going to be a big resistance area anyway. So I guess the bear case first would be that we come down, just down here, back down to the L line. Yeah, so anyway, that's the bearish case, and then a bullish breakout of a descending wedge pattern like this. This is a bull flag. Like, this pattern is a bull flag with like an 80% to the upside breakout percentage. It's like the most bullish bull flag pattern that there is. And yeah, and there's 2 kinds of breakouts that you can get here. You can run into it, and then you can pull back and like jump on top, and then kind of pick up a bull trend. There's a weak kind of breakout pattern that you can get, or you can get a rocket launch breakout, which is this pretty much the same height of the wedge, and you just blast out of the top. And this is actually what I've been calling for, without noticing the descending wedge pattern specifically, because I just set up this topping megaphone for the S&P. I think that we're in a topping pattern. I think that this whole area here that everyone's calling as the top of the world is actually a left shoulder area. And what I'm looking at here is a descending, you know, broadening wedge rocket breakout. And, you know, this is just one trading idea, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own research, blah, 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 blah. But I've been calling for this for a minute because this is just like the topping pattern I think I would expect to get on the top of the everything bubble. It's super dramatic topping pattern. We got this pattern on GameStop. We got it on the Great Depression top, and it's super dramatic. And you go like this, like you flip over onto this downtrend, and this downtrend is painted. It still matters later, but for right now, we start painting higher highs, right? 1, 2, 3, and then do we hold here? Or do we come down here and do another false breakdown? And then the top of the thing would be up here. That'd be next year sometime. And then after that, you get a huge market crash down here. And then, yeah, it just gets very volatile. And you get a serious market crash, actual bear market situation. But anyway, that's the pattern that I'm looking at right now. And it's shaping up to be doing it. And I know there's a lot of people that think we're in a bear market already. And I just painted sort of the bear market continuation idea, which I think is most likely, I mean, we're coiling. So, I mean, you can just obviously just come down here again right now to the yellow and do another bottom. Like, that's a bearish continuation pattern. You could hit the wedge and come down. That's a bearish continuation pattern. Like, those patterns are definitely possible. But the pattern that I think is happening, it's the most dramatic and most ridiculous, and it's setting it up. So I think it's really cool. But anyway, where is it? 4111. Are we breaking out? Let me see. Let me go see where the S&P is. If we're breaking out of this thing. No, still drama there. I think maybe I can get after hours on a 1 hour on GameStop. Oh yeah, I was seeing it there. So nothing. It's just going sideways, kind of. It's not like going to the moon or something right now as I'm making the video. So yeah, what am I doing now? So the things that I was looking at today are these are the stocks that look like they have bullish action on them. GameStop, AMC has not taken off yet. I picked up some AMC today just because it's still down. Like GameStop already flagged up, so it's like even if you enter it, you may have missed half the move already. Um, Fuel cell, these charts don't work very well on a 1 minute chart, but there's a lot of bottoming patterns happening here, where the whole market looks like it's doing it, and these kind of stocks look like they're getting flows. The Nasdaq looks like it's getting flows again. So things like Tesla, is getting volatile and jumping, which makes the other smaller Nasdaq stocks interesting. Like Fuel Cell and Workhorse just have kind of good bullish patterns on them. They have kind of obvious targets. I like these two. And AMC is baby GameStop, but these are in the Russell, right? And they're outside of the Nasdaq, so it's a diversified sort of meme stock breakout trade, where GameStop could rally or AMC could rally pretty hard. It's done this pretty big downtrend, but you can see the May rally. Like AMC loved it. It really rallied hard on that one. So if we get another sort of nonsense rally, I think AMC still has firepower to rally hard. GME obviously does because it's the only one that's like throwing a flagpole in advance. Like it's ready to go. It wants to run. So I think that we have money coming into the market, and I think it's a lot coming into some nonsense stocks again. And materials and minerals, I've looked at are potential things that could rally pretty good. Um, just based on like the end of the market cycle, the end of a credit cycle. These are kind of materials, minerals, miners are things that start coming in at the end of a credit cycle, but I don't think we're quite there yet. I think we have another nonsense rally. Is what it looks like is happening. They might come in. We might get those coming in and nonsense at the same time here. And I wanted to look at whatever. Just look at gold and silver, because gold started holding and probably getting bullish. It looks like it's breaking out. So that's interesting if gold starts trading in and silver, because gold is just going to want to trade opposite of the dollar. So the dollar looks like it's peaking, and there was a whole video I saw from George Gammon on Michael Burry explaining a crash that could happen soon, and the reverse repo operations are going to the moon right now for the Fed. And so the Fed does not initiate those transactions. Those are banks like all over Europe and international banks that want to clear space on their balance sheet to make more loans, but they're hitting like requirement limits. There's limits of what the banks can loan. There's Basel III and Basel IV is coming out, or Basel IV, which just limits like liquidity requirements and reserve requirements for the banks. And so that's why the banks need treasuries. They love U.S. treasuries, even if the yields are low. But you see these reverse repos ramping up. The banks are trying to lend money out, and you see the dollar coming down. That means more dollars are coming into the market. So I think banks are making dollar loans right now. So that's why I think this run is happening. And the dollar's just going like a little bit too strong. So they want to loan more dollars out and bring the dollar down a little bit. I mean, it's breaching the high above like the COVID peak here. So that's what I think we're doing. We're getting, it looks like maybe a month or something as the idea. I have a month and a half kind of rally. And then we get into crazy figure out the top of this thing situation, which I've shown you the pattern of. But as far as gold, like gold just likes it when the dollar comes down. So I don't know that this is like an inflation hedge trade right now, because inflation seems to be stalling out. If you go to look at the euro dollar futures, you can see, this is pretty much the international bond market trading what they think inflation is doing. And right now, it did not make an inflationary breakout. So The international bond market and banking system does not think inflation is breaking out right now. They think that we just bottomed at a normal spot, and usually if you're going sideways, that's bullish. A rip to the upside, like this rip to the upside was COVID crash, we could get another sort of squeeze, like a deflationary squeeze, if we make an up move like that, which people do not expect that, but I have been calling for that, and now it's looks like it's happening. So there's some interesting stuff going on the charts. Silver is sort of in between gold and copper. It's like follows both, but it's actually not doing that very well right now because gold is looking bullish and copper is looking bullish. Copper did actually a pretty big move yesterday, which may have to do with China sort of coming back online. They were they were shut down pretty hard. Um, and so like shipping may be improving, production may be improving. Copper likes that. Silver should like that, especially if gold is bulling, but silver is lower. So we may get a good rally on silver, and that's a cool thing to look at late market cycle as well. But it doesn't look as strong as not some nonsense like meme stocks look like they're still running. So that's kind of the outlook on the market now. Is I think we're getting towards the end of it, but I don't think we're on the last push yet. I think we're still because I would think like some meme stocks and stuff like that would probably fall off before we go to the final top. And the things that would go to the final top should, well, maybe Tesla, maybe Nasdaq would run, but a lot of the smaller stuff probably wouldn't. And then um, materials, minerals, miners would run, and then you should get some stuff coming in like silver and copper and things, which, I mean, copper's already been running, but that's kind of the cycle idea. And where I think we are in the cycle is I think we have I think we have one more nonsense rally and one more pull down. I think we're going to get a high and a low, an all-time high and then a new low, and then we'll worry about, if we make it, I don't know, if this holds or not, whether we can get down here. That's later. And what stocks would run in that case. Worry about that later. This is the idea for the next month or two. And just see if we break out of here, see the shape of it, and see what moves. But that's what I think is moving. And I think the inflation is not only reversing, like it's going to stall now, and it's going to go and have another deflationary wave, near zero interest rates again. And there's even the risk that everyone's wrong and it just like breaks negative, like negative interest rates, deflationary thing, um, which would be something to look at after we get down to near zero interest rates or something. I mean, I think like Hugh Hendry or something has called for that, but that's a pretty outside idea right now, even outside of stuff that I would that I would say. But yeah, anyway, those are some cool ideas on what might be happening here that is probably a little different than what you're hearing at most places. I think most people are still considering this a bear market bounce, and even if it rallies a little harder, expecting a lower high. And so I think that spot where if we blast out the top would freak people out, and then people would start going long again, and then it would freaking drop in their face. So that's what the market does to people, and I can totally see that happening in advance. Right on. So yeah, please smash the like button for me and drop a comment if there's anything you want me to cover. I don't know. I have a bunch of random stocks that I've been looking at that started doing interesting stuff, like QuantumScape started doing some interesting kind of bottoming patterns. It's doing the general trend. Like that's a Nasdaq. Oh no, that one's not Nasdaq. It's doing the general market trend with the uphill W. That one looks cool. Aqua Metals is got a pretty good pop here, so that one looks like it might want to run, and it's super tiny for anyone that likes trading penny stocks. They do like lithium, cobalt, like recycling, and I guess some mining or mine processing. What else? Oh, costs. This is like another AMC, GameStop kind of stock that did pretty similar breakout pattern, and it's running. So that one is cool. Small silver miners have done a bounce here. So silver may rally. It seems to be underpriced relative to gold and copper right now. And the miners, silver miners could be a rally play here. And could also be a big rally play on the next one if it shapes up to do that sort of thing. What else is going on? Oh, Palantir, uphill W. And this one's way down, and it's a pretty sharp one. So that's a cool pattern. That looks good. Palantir looks really cool. I don't remember what this was doing. Yeah, just another uphill W kind of thing. These ones that are way oversold and get an uphill W have a lot of room to rally. But you know, the higher the price of the stock, sort of the smaller percentage gains that are available, I think. Is there any other ones that were super interesting? No. Yeah, I think that was most of the ones that I was looking at. Oh, there's a viral viral stocks that have been jumping around like crazy for the new virus, which we'll worry about that later. I don't want to even start talking about that in case my video gets like frozen or something. Oh, Bitcoin. I was going to look at Bitcoin, of course. All right, so Bitcoin, this is like the high speculation, high growth things are what are supposed to rotate out before you start going to the top of the thing. And I actually think I was calling for like the NASDAQ and those growth stocks to kind of crap out early before we go to the top of this bubble. But um, I think Bitcoin is the big. I think Bitcoin is the the big thing that is gonna. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, I was saying that I think Bitcoin is the super high speculation thing. All right. So Bitcoin, I think. Yeah, I've been calling for sort of the high speculation, high growth things to kind of fail before we go to the end of the bubble and not really rally and just stay weak. And let me zoom. I think Bitcoin is the thing that is the big thing, one of the big speculative high growth things in this bubble that is failing early and will not rally to the top. And yeah, check it out. So here's what Bitcoin likes to do. It likes to do these wedges where you jump on top, you cross over, right, and then you come back to the bottom of the wedge, and then you can break out. And then jump on top, you know, come down, cross over, right, back to the bottom. So that's the wedge pattern. Like, you jump it on top, and then that's your downside target, and you probably overshoot it a little bit on the first stab. And so that's what we're setting up here. We jump on top of the thing, right, cross over. And so I think Bitcoin doesn't, I think it's in trouble. I was trying to figure out where I think it's going, and I think it's not going anywhere. I think we're just going to go sideways for a month and get stuck. And then I think at some point we're just going to release to the downside and probably overstab it. I don't know how, like maybe even down to here. But yeah, I have like this kind of area as a downside target, and I just don't think I don't think there's much power in Bitcoin here. But on the upside, this is one idea. An upside target I think could be like right back to this ribbon and maybe even pop out of the top again for like a triple M top. If Bitcoin does rally right now really hard, I think that a M top kind of thing is possible. But I do think Bitcoin is topped out or topping out. And I don't think Bitcoin's going to be participating much in the final rally. Like, if we like rally for a month and flip over on the stock market, like Bitcoin might just go sideways and down, and then you know the big last run, like yeah, maybe Bitcoin does kind of bull out a little bit, or even a lot, like maybe it even runs back up to here or something, and that would be a big rally on Bitcoin. but it wouldn't be like proportional or strong like to an all-time high like other things would do during the peak of a market. That's the kind of idea I have on Bitcoin for this week. Bitcoin is tricky, but I thought I would just throw an idea up there and see what everyone thinks about it. Anyway, that's my Bitcoin setup for the moment. And this long-term ribbon is no joke. Like, this is where Bitcoin has topped out over and over and over again. I don't know if I can zoom out where it's easy to see it. If I go out to a weekly, it might not fit very well. But in any case, that's the Bitcoin bubble ribbon where you tap it and try to poke out the top, and then you go to the Bitcoin sort of bear market. And yeah, that's the top there. So yeah, Bitcoin loves to top out at the ribbon, and it loves to do these dropping wedges and then break out and do a bull run. So I think that we're doing all of the above right now. Topping out on the ribbon, picking up a wedge, and then we'll probably have a little bull run after that. And yeah, so in any case, I guess BITL is the new ETF where you can trade Bitcoin options, on a normal exchange and even inside of a retirement fund, um, which is cool. I've done a little bit of that. I was shorting Mara a lot during this down move here until it broke out on this, but this, BITO could be a way to short Bitcoin if it picks up that downward wedge pattern. Okay, that's way too much stuff. All right, we'll call it there. Happy trading and enjoy the weekend.